Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Sarcastic Barman and welcome to my channel. Now, which one's stupider, Flat Earth or Hollow Earth? You can fill in the poll card here now, hopefully, all being well. And once you've done that, we'll get through some videos on finding out what seems stupider on Hollow Earth. And you can compare them to the videos from last week from Flat Earth. But until then, let's play the intro, get a beer, and go through some ridiculous stupidness.
Alright, here's part 1 of Hollow Earth. Oh, let me just move myself out of the way for you. Explorers at the South Pole have reported that after a certain latitude, the sub-zero temperatures suddenly rise drastically, yielding green, iceless land areas and lakes.
Really? Are you sure? Because we can find no information on that online anywhere looking through. So I'm going to call bollocks on that one. And while it's true there is grass in Antarctica, it's on the peninsula. So no to that one. I'm sure any satellite images would also show large grassless areas. But unfortunately, once again, no.
Supposedly, Earth is a spherical, spacious planetary body with enormous continent-sized caverns deep within it and large entrances miles across the North and South Pole.
Really, for that to be the case, our entire understanding of continental drift, earthquakes, PNS waves, and everything we've used to detect and understand the centre of Earth would all be completely and utterly wrong, and nobody's ever noticed apart from conspiracy theorists who think there's two big giant holes and are basically another mini sun thing inside of Earth. No.
They say inner Earth has water, oceans, and luminosity, and that it sustains not only plants and animals, but intelligent life as well.
And how are they living under there? This is the next big question, right? You're saying there's luminosity, so you're saying what? There's a mini sun inside Earth like this? And then you're saying that the people walk along the outer edge like this as well? Well, then the question will come is our entire understanding of gravity just completely and utterly balls? Because we can understand how much mass has an attraction force to other mass, and how much it basically would bend space-time for anyone who's going to pull me up on that bit, and how much that attraction actually is. So you're now saying that the crust is causing all that attraction, which means there's got to be a huge more amount of mass inside that crust. And then that means that if there's a huge amount of mass in the crust on one side, use this picture again, then should there not be the same amount of mass on the other side, which would mean that anyone standing on that side, it gets a bit weird that the level of attraction inside the Earth should be different to the level of attraction outside of the Earth because of it being different. And yeah, that's a confusing concept.
I know it sounds crazy, just put aside what you think you know while we look at the evidence, the scientists, the legends and testimonies on the inner Earth theory and why it could be the most game-changing evidence concealed from common knowledge.
Scientific evidence? Fine, we'll take a look at that. Myths and legends? You can't really use a myth and a legend to substantiate your claim. Now, while there is the chance that some myths and legend have some basis in reality, I mean, look at Troy. For years and years, it was thought to be, no, Troy doesn't exist, and then someone discovered Troy. So, yes, there can be some hints and things in there. Doesn't mean that our entire scientific basis is wrong, because some people said, yeah, some people live underground. And that's basically what most of this Hollow Earth stuff comes down to, not there's a giant underground hollow Earth with another sun, oceans, trees, and for some really, really batshit crazy people, lizard alien people things that are slowly taking over Earth. That's just wow.
Alright, so we had the introduction. Here's part 1 of Hollow Earth. Who wasn't taught that gravity is what makes an apple fall? We believe this for roughly 300 to 400 years since Isaac Newton defined it in its relationship to mass. This guy. Well, in 2017, two neutron stars collided, proving that indeed it's not a force, it's a distortion in space-time.
I feel like you need to watch more conspiracitard videos, because for years and years you've had people trying to debunk gravity one way or the other, and one of the things they do use is the Einsteinian gravity wrecking Newtonian gravity, blah-de-blah-de-blah, space-time, blah-de-blah-de-blah, hence my mention slightly earlier, blah-de-blah-de-blah. So this isn't something new that you're trying to bring up, but your rough basic understanding doesn't change how gravity works on Earth and how we can pick up the attraction. And yeah, I'm still going to call it a force. The attractive force between two objects with mass and their attraction towards each other. Whether you want to include this as the space-time around it is bending, which is causing the other one to fall into each other, or they coming along, fine. But it's still there, and our understanding of it is still relatively good enough that I think we'd notice if the entire goddamn Earth was hollow.
Now, according to Einstein, an apple falls from a tree because it's responding to the curvature of space-time caused by the planet's mass. There's no attractive force called gravity. That's a massive paradigm shift.
Not really, no, because we've had a good 70 odd years to actually look at it, understand it, do experiments on it, work out the mass behind it even more, go through things. And what's even more amusing is our understanding of gravity changes more and more each day. And basically the Einsteinian model of it at the moment is one of our best understandings. But hence why science is always a theory. What's more of a paradigm shift is shifting from rum to gin. That's more of a paradigm shift. And there's vodka there as well.
So if we were wrong about gravity, could we be wrong about other theories too? Well, yeah, I mean, if gravity is no longer a valid theory and it's used to determine mass, and the mass of the Earth is overstated, then it follows that the mass of all the other planets in the solar system are overstated as well. If the Earth is cavernous or hollow, then so is every other planet in the solar system.
No, there is no basis in that understanding to say that we've overstated the mass of Earth. It still fits in with the maths on how we understand mass. Maths of maths. Yeah, that's the words I'm looking for. On how much the things weigh. Things like the Cavendish and Skellion experiments and observations are still valid and still show the level of attraction that mass is basically causing. So for you to then say, no, we were obviously wrong about this, so that means everything's wrong. No. Earth has been roughly weighed as best we can do with mass since all this has gone on with you, as you're saying, Einstein. Our basic understandings have not changed.
No, I am saying if because it is just a theory. Part 2 is next.
So if you're saying if because it's a theory, that shows your lack of understanding on what a scientific theory is, because gravity is a scientific theory as well as evolution, despite all the evidence there is for both. So once again, no.
Here's Hollow Earth Part 2. Some of the greatest scientific minds have challenged the theory of a dense Earth. Around the same time as Newton, geophysicist, mathematician, and astronomer Edmund Halley, he's the guy who predicted the orbit of his comet.
Oh, that apple wasn't stupidly fucking annoying, was it?
He basically said the magnetic anomalies of Earth could be the result of a different composition. He believed that beneath the Earth's crust there was 2 concentric shells, that each region potentially had its own atmosphere, luminosity, and possibly even was inhabited.
Now, while Halley might have been on the right track with layers and things like that, doesn't mean he was actually right full stop. We now know from our understanding of P waves and S waves when it comes into regards of earthquakes that we have this sort of thing. And we have our understanding of how these waves refract, bend, however you want to call it, and we know that they're not going to travel through hollow areas. That would just be magic.
Then 100 years after Halley, we had Swiss mathematician and physicist Leonhard Euler, who is still considered one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. He also proposed that Earth was completely hollow with a central sun in the center, similar to Halley agreeing that there's openings at both the North and South poles.
Take 5 on this because Barwife keeps laughing at me. So with our now understanding of plate tectonics and how they move round Earth, see, said it properly that time, and how they move round Earth, does that mean that the holes also move with them? Because surely the holes are in those continents, except for the fact that the North Pole isn't a continent, it's just a hole. So how does that work? What's stopping all the water flowing in when that hole moves to a more tropical area and there's no ice to prevent it? And also you have to wonder on the fact that even TV presenters have been to the North Pole. Jeremy Clarkson drove a car to the North Pole. Please see tiny clip now.
Yes! It's here!
Now, while yes, that is the magnetic North Pole, wouldn't that be the more sensible location for the hole if they're saying that the magnetic radiances and stuff and all the other thingy words that's where they're coming out from, hence why the Aurora Borealis and things like that work from that location? Or are you saying directly on 90 degrees 00 there is a big walk-off hole? Clarification is needed on this point.
Now we can move on to Germany's most influential mathematician, Johann Carl Friedrich Gauss. He stated in the early 1800s, all of our Earth's history, physics, and geography could be explained by Earth being a hollow planet with entrances at the poles.
Now we try to find that quote. It appears in a couple of places, and strangely enough, they're only either Facebook Hollow Earth groups or websites devoted to Hollow Earth. And it is literally the exact quote as that, and it just says, in the early 1800s. So no dates, no book, no title of paper or whatever it's been published on. So as much as I don't like to say people are misusing quotes or making quotes up, there is this.
Damn. Hollow Earth Part 4. So you'd think that satellite images of the poles would just completely disprove this, but there's a problem. Well, NASA's images and videos of the poles are very hard to find.
Now, luckily there are other space agencies apart from NASA, and other companies that have satellites apart from NASA. This image in point, one of the most high detailed pictures of the North Pole, taken basically ever in 2018. But you have to ask the question, why do you need lots of satellites going over the North Pole? The main point of monitoring the North Pole will be for ice. But people have been to the North Pole, and if you want to say, no they haven't, they're all conspiracy nuts, they're all paid shills, then why would you then believe any photos of the North Pole? You can't have it both ways.
Even found there's questionable anomalies, such as ice cover, cloud cover, or simply just getting blotted out. Now in November 1968, there was a satellite photo of the North Pole that was released, and as you can see, there's a large polar opening with no cloud cover.
Nope, there's a large polar opening, with no cloud cover as you want to say, because the satellite just basically didn't go that far north. That photo is made up of hundreds of passes over the North Pole, going round and round and round, but it doesn't actually go over the North Pole itself. It's only to X degree. So, again, no, but previous photo just shown you. First result on Google.
I suppose it could have been photo trickery by satellite images since then, but showing serious anomalies, they do raise questions. Particularly this one from the Russian space station Mir in 1987, showing light emanating from a very mysterious fashion.
Now I return to you almost an hour later after I cut for that little clip, after going through photos upon photos upon photos of the Mir space station, looking for where that photo on the station would have been taken. Now in 1987 there was only the Cavant module and the Mir core module as far as I can tell there. The rest weren't added till later, so at least that narrowed it down, and there seems to be no square window you could look out of at any angle and then see a larger area that would block part of the view, as you can see from the image, which I'll put on now. So yeah, also the only place I can find this as a video is on Hollow Earth website saying, hey look, this is Mir and it's showing this, look, yeah, it's showing this, yeah. There's no official release of this video or any information on where this video came from, and most sites don't even give a year, so I'm not sure where he got the year from. So this video, we're calling bollocks on it.
Then there's images from NASA of other planets, like Venus, Jupiter, the various moons, all showing strange qualities or blotted out poles. Running out of time, like and share for the next one.
Yep, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Leave comments down below if you want me to do more of this nutter. I think I'll do the next one with alcohol, because doing this sober is very, very time-consumingly boring. Booze is definitely required. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Thank you to my patrons for helping me make this possible, and my members. If you are a member, use your member icon-y chat things now. Yay! And go and enjoy the next video on the Les Irrelibles Knighte. Link for all the videos on tonight's shows are down below, as always. And a couple of links from Mir we'll throw in, and hopefully I've done that poll right. We'll find out by the end of this video. Thank you very much, and good night.